Hello, welcome back to Food and Life. As you can probably already tell, this is my July bullet journal spread. And this month's theme is one of my all-time favorite childhood shows, which is Someone Who Lives in a Pineapple Under the Sea, Absorbent and Yellow and Porous. Is he Spongebob Squarepants? I actually had to Google that second lyric because I didn't know that it was porous, but it does make sense. For the cover page, I am drawing Bikini Bottom. Did you know that Bikini Bottom was originally known or was going to be called Bikini Bottomshire? And I'm glad that they didn't actually do this. The little buildings as well are actually made out of scrap metal or exhaust pipes, which really hits because growing up watching it, I didn't realize that it was actually pollution, which is a huge problem today, especially with littering and ocean dumping. So I loved how a childhood TV show could have natural, real elements in today's world. Next, I'm trying to copy the SpongeBob font and write July with it. This was actually really fun to copy because it didn't need to be pristine. It's okay if it's slightly wonky or the lines aren't completely straight, because it didn't matter, that wasn't the style, so I had a lot of fun doing it. I also tried to copy the Spongebob Squarepants logo, but instead of writing Spongebob Squarepants in the little ribbon below, I wrote this year's year, which is 2024. I tried to find the most similar colors to the actual logo itself, and I think I matched it pretty closely. I was actually kind of worried because the reference picture that I used is quite colorful, and the show itself is also really vibrant with quite loud colors in your face, and I absolutely loved that. So I wanted to do my bullet journal spread justice with the bright colors, and I was quite worried because I wasn't sure if I had the right ones or if I had enough variety. But I actually didn't really need to use that many colors. I just used 2 shades of grey, a shade of yellow, like an orangey shade, a dark blue, light blue, and green and red. I also didn't want to color the whole sky in blue, so I tried to do a gradient with my brush pen, which I didn't really like. So I went on top with a blue pencil to soften the brush pen edges, but maybe watercolors would have been better, but I drew everything on first before painting the background. I also did I don't know what these are, but they're like flower clouds with some pencil, and this was my favorite thing to do throughout the whole bullet journal. I really loved just randomly drawing these everywhere. It's so iconic to the show, and it definitely elevated this cover page to the next level. Next is my quote page. I haven't actually done mini quote pages in my previous spreads, only because I wasn't feeling one back then, but there have been so many iconic quotes from SpongeBob that I needed to add one in this month. There's also so many iconic SpongeBob memes and moments that I wanted to capture in my bullet journal. One of them is this, where SpongeBob throws the flower petals in front of Squidward's face, and he's so excited about summer while Squidward is just done with life. When I was younger, I related more with SpongeBob, and I didn't like Squidward. I was like, why is he always so grumpy? I didn't like that vibe. But now that I've grown up, I relate more to Squidward, and I can understand why he's like that. The quote for this month is from our very wise starfish friend Patrick. His wise words of wisdom being, sometimes you have to go deep inside ourselves to solve our problems. And he's not wrong. Makes sense. I don't know why, but I do have a chuckle every time I reread this. So yeah, that's it for the quote page and my cover page. Next up is the monthly calendar page. I used a light blue pen to draw the rectangles or squares. They are 6x7, so technically rectangles, except for Thursday. That one is slightly smaller because I didn't want it to be over the 2 pages again. I wrote each of my calendar dates inside a flower to mimic the flower clouds of SpongeBob's sky. And I did the days of the week in the SpongeBob lettering. Yeah, I wanted to keep the overall vibe vibrant and happy and colorful, which is essentially what the show is. Next, I doodled another iconic meme, which is the surprise Patrick and SpongeBob faces. I actually don't remember seeing this on the show. I used to watch it religiously back on Cartoon Network, and I don't remember it until I saw it as a meme on social media. I did keep this page quite simple because I wanted this picture to stand out. It does cover that Monday, I think it's the 28th, box. So I hope I'm not too busy that day and I don't need to write anything in. But I do wish that I drew some more iconic characters like Handsome Squidward, Gary, the old grandma that says chocolates, even Plankton trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. I might add them in if I want to add more pages to this month's spread. Let me know who's your favorite character and what's your favorite SpongeBob meme in the comments below. I'm using the same brush pens as earlier to color in Patrick and SpongeBob, and they're super simple to color in and draw. I also outlined the box of my calendar, as you can see here, just to make it pop and have the same effect as the background of Bikini Bottom that I did for the cover page, so it looks like there's a gradient, and drew the flower clouds all over with pencil. I love the look that the pencil gives these flowers. It's like a sketchy, cartoony kind of feel, which is what SpongeBob is. And it didn't have to be perfect, so it really made it more fun to draw. So yeah, that's it for the monthly calendar spread. And next up is my habit tracker and a little notes on the bottom. Starting off again with the SpongeBob font. I just wrote habits with it because I couldn't fit tracker in the one line and I didn't want to squish them all together in case it would look messy. I wrote everything with pencil first just so I had a guideline of my letters and their placement so that everything can look neat. But you can see that I kind of followed it, kind of not really, and it ended up looking squished anyways. But it's okay, it's still legible. For my habits itself, I think I was so creative when I discovered or thought of doing this, which is the calendar drawn inside of the jellyfish, because SpongeBob loves jellyfish fishing and they turned out so great, really cute, I love it. And I'll color in the squares for which when I did do the habit in a pink, just like the colors in the TV show. There's also a plaque in the show that says Jellyfish Field, so I drew it and wrote Notes Field. If you can't already tell, I'm quite proud of how this page looks and I'm super happy with how it turned out. I can't wait to see how the jellyfish will look like with all of the pinks that I'll put in. I also added in again the flower clouds. I'm so obsessed with doing these, so fun, and it ties everything together. This bit as well looked a bit empty, so I colored it in the same yellow as the heading. Next is my mood tracker, and for this month I thought of doodling the Krabby Patty, but instead it's called the Mood Patty, where each day I'll draw an ingredient which represents my mood. So if I'm feeling playful, it's lettuce, happy bacon, meh cheese, sad the patty, and angry, which is a tomato. I don't think there's bacon in it, but I needed another ingredient. So I've just added it in. I'm sorry, Krusty Krabs. And for my final page of my bullet journal so far for July is my page dump. And for this, I drew SpongeBob with his hands wide open, ready to say, imagination. This was actually so easy to doodle. It took me literally 30 seconds to do and another 30 seconds to color in, especially because the bottom half was cut off. I did modify the rainbow just a little bit so that the colors aren't too vibrant and more pastel-y, which isn't a word, but you get what I mean. So yeah, here you have it, my July bullet journal spread. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.